Yo, so guys, welcome back to another video. This is another Lost in the Pond reaction, and this one is 8 American things Britain doesn't even have a word for. And this is going to be a weird one because, I mean, when you think of it, there's always a word for a word in another country. So I don't know if it's going to be like of objects or just certain sort of sayings or slang things. I don't know, but I'm interested in it. This is like sort of a new type of reaction. I've not really looked into anything like this before, but yeah, I mean, Lawrence always brings the banging video ideas, and I'm excited to see it. But before we get into it, quick shout out to him. Links in the description to his channel. I'm sure if you enjoy my reaction to his video, you will enjoy his channel himself. So subscribe to him, all in the links with this in the description. And I mean, yeah, let's get into this. Quick shout out to my Instagram, my Twitter, links in the description for that, for those as well. On the way to 6K on my Instagram, so I'd appreciate you helping me get to that. And my Patreon as well. There's a lot of Patreon exclusive videos that I've posted recently. Like I did a Gordon Ramsay like kitchen nightmares, which I was trying to post onto YouTube, but obviously it got blocked, so I posted it there. Some more Key and Peele reactions, which again got blocked on YouTube, which is a shame because these are supposed to be videos that I posted today, but it is what it is. But yeah, the links are all there for those interested in that. But let's get into this and let's see just what Lawrence has for us today.
So it's very important for British people living in America, like me, to know the difference between the shoe brand and something else that Americans call a hush puppy before I put my foot in it. Literally in the case of the shoe.
Wait, is this
Hello, I'm Lawrence Brown, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to words. And you and I both...
He always says pertains. In every single video he says pertains. I don't even know what it means this whole time. Pertains mean... Oh. He always says it. I've never actually known what it means. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Be appropriate, related, or applicable. So like sort of similar kind of thing then.
Know this by now. It's often said that Britain and America are two nations divided by a common language. And what does this mean? It means that English is a prominent language in both countries, but that we have different words and spellings and pronunciations for the same things. But what if I told you right here and now that both Britain and America have things for which the other country doesn't even have words? Well, today I'll be looking at a selection of those from the United States of America, a country I've lived in for the past 13 years. Now, as with all things Britain and America, a lot of these words come back to food, whereas some of them pertain to social customs, the law, and America's obscenely large landscape. And so without further ado, here are 8 American things that Britain doesn't even have a word for.
Elephant ear.
Here's a story. Several years ago, my wife took me to the Indiana State Fair. And when I say she took me there, I got absolutely no say in the matter. And even as we stood in line for the world's most famous pig race, I couldn't help but look around me and notice the types of fair food that were on offer. Of course, you had cotton candy, and of course the British do have a word for that. It's candy floss.
Don't you dare say you had elephant ears.
You had hot dogs, otherwise known in Britain as hot dogs. And then you had elephant ear.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Some British people, perhaps even some American people, might be thinking, oh, you ate a part of an elephant? No, thank goodness it's not a real elephant ear.
Oh.
No, this is just a type of fried dough that happens to be shaped like an elephant ear or a frisbee gone wrong. And the reason that I say that some Americans might not recognize this name is that it goes by different pseudonyms. You see, while Britain might not have a word for this, America has plenty. As well as elephant ear and fried dough, it also goes by fry bread. Fry bread, not to be confused with the fried bread that you might find on an English breakfast. Completely different beast. Doughboys, scones, again not to be confused with an English scone / scone. Pizza frit, or my personal favourite, frying sauces. And while we're on the subject of American-derived food, that brings us on to this.
What the fuck? Oh, bro, that was me thinking that you actually had elephant ears as food. Oh my god, I was screaming if that was the case. Grits.
Ah yes, grits. Now on the face of it, grits sound absolutely awful, because when I think of the word grit, I think of two things. I think of grit to mean courage and resolve and strength of character, but usually sweat. Or grit as in small bits of stone or sand. Either way, I don't want to eat that. But it turns out that grits, a Southern American dish, is a type of porridge. And I know what you're thinking, Britain, that's ridiculous, Lawrence. We do have a word for porridge, and it's porridge. This is a specific type of porridge and a big deal in the southern United States. But in the unlikely event that you're thinking of moving to the United States just because you want to live where grits is, but you don't want to move to the southern United States because you can't stomach 400-degree temperatures, in my experience, you can get grits here in the Midwest, and I assume other places in the United States. Second thoughts, it'd be easier just to say stay in Britain and look up the recipe online. That's something you can't do so easily with this.
Butty.
Yes, B-U-T-T-E. Now, before I go any further, it's probably important, in the interest of not being demonetized, that I point out that this word is pronounced butte. And it's probably quite an appropriate pronunciation because buttes are often beautiful, or at the very least, stunning. Now, some people might be thinking, get to the point, what on earth is a butte? Well, a butte is a very specific type of hill, and this specific type of hill is not commonly found in Britain. It's a type of hill that has a flat top and vertical or nearly vertical sides. Think of the Mitten Butte in Monument Valley in Arizona, or Devil's Tower in Wyoming, or to give it its official...
So we don't call them anything in the UK then? When we see pictures of these, we don't have a word to call them? We just call them fucking rocks or mountains or whatever.
Name, Richard Dreyfuss's mashed potato. And now that we're 3 words into the list, do you want me to go on to number 4? In other words, do you want some more? Do you want some more? Do you want some more? Well, bring it on.
S'mores.
You see what I did there? When I first moved to the United States, I was offered a s'more and I turned it down because I was frightened of what it might be. And then somebody described the contents and my love for them from that moment on only grew. Just like my waistline. Of course, Americans know what a s'more is, but this is for my British viewers, i.e. my mom. An official s'more is a roasted marshmallow, right, stuck to a slab of chocolate. Sorry for the noises. And together, they are sandwiched.
I've seen these before. I've seen, probably in like American shows or something. They do look good though. I mean, the diabetes would be through the roof, but they do look good. I ain't even gonna lie. But I have seen this. I don't know if I've seen these in the UK as well. Maybe just different sort of content inside.
Between a graham cracker, right? And if you're wondering what a graham cracker is, it's similar to what the British would call a digestive biscuit, except it's square and Americans pronounce it gram. And because of the fried marshmallow element to all of this, it's perfect to make one while you're camping. And you might be wondering, why is it called s'more with an apostrophe? Because it's a contraction of some more, meaning that my segue surprisingly made sense for once. Unlike this one, bring on the dogs.
Carhop.
The word carhop has nothing to do with dogs because that would be mental. Furthermore, a carhop is not a type of car that hops because see previous comment. A carhop is somebody who serves you food but while you're in your car.
Wait, what? Wait, what the heck is this? I've never ever seen anything like this in my life. This is the most Mexican. This is the most American thing I've ever seen. So it's kind of like a drive-through, but you just sit in your car and just wait for it to be brought to you. I mean, it's kind of cool, but I've never seen anything like this before.
Now, of course, it's pretty well known that it's a big part of American culture to order food at the drive-through. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about drive-ins. Drive-ins are a still lasting remnant of a bygone era here in the United States, where you park your car at the designated drive-in, the car hop comes to you and takes your order, and then brings you your food. And you stay there in this exact same spot right next to the restaurant or cafe or whatever you want to call it. And I personally have come to consider this fine dining even in a Prius. Allow me to do a quick shout out to 2 that I've been to. Recently on my Route 66 journey, I visited the Polka Dot Inn in Braidwood, Illinois. And car hops served me every now and again at Jean's Root Beer stand in Anderson, Indiana. And I am told that in some of the more snazzy quarters of the United States, there are even car hops on roller skates, but they're difficult to find because it's not the 80s anymore.
Jaywalking. That term looks familiar. I don't know if that might be a word in the UK, but just for something completely different.
Jaywalking. You may remember that I talked about this very topic a few months ago. I had absolutely no idea.
Oh, he's wearing a United shirt. Is he a United fan? Oi, come on. United fans for life. Let's rise.
What jaywalking was. You know, it was a word that cropped up occasionally in films, but I just assumed it was a sport. I thought this was going to be a big deal, right? You know the joke, why did the chicken cross the road? Well, he didn't because he was too much of a chicken. At least that was the case at first, and after my wife had laughed at me 17 times, I started to get the impression that I might be overthinking this. All of the years that I've lived here, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say, "Ooh, did you see Ashley? I think she was jaywalking. Better call the cops." The reason we don't have a word for jaywalking in the UK is because that law doesn't exist. And funnily enough, despite our difficult relationship with rain and drizzle, we also don't have a word for this.
Raincheck.
Admittedly, perhaps owing to the digital age in which RSVPing or not RSVPing is done at the click of a button, the word Raincheck is sadly one I haven't encountered very often since moving here. But I do remember it featuring a lot in American films in the 80s, so that's good enough for me. Basically, when somebody takes a Raincheck, it's to indicate that that person cannot accept the invitation right now, right? But they'd be happy to turn up in the future. And you might be thinking, why is it called a rain check? Does the coming together of people depend on whether or not it's raining? Sort of. You see, it originated in baseball. A coupon might have been handed to a baseball ticket holder when the game was cancelled due to rain. And that would mean that that coupon holder could then attend the rearranged game without being charged. And while Britain also has a sport with a batsman and a lot of players who just stand around for no reason, the term rain check never caught on. Of course, that could also be something to do with the fact that we often turn down invitations in favour of that non-specific thing that we've got going on this weekend. Either way, Britain doesn't use the word rain check, just like it doesn't use our final entry, unless you're talking about shoes.
Hush puppy. What is a hush puppy? Do we use that here?
That's right, hush puppy, and to me, and admittedly to millions of Americans, hush puppy was and is a brand of shoe.
Oh, in the US it's a brand of shoe. I was confused, like, is it a brand of shoe here? I was like, wait, what? In the UK, sorry, is it a brand of shoe here? Which I knew it wasn't, but I've got confused with what he said, but...
So it's very important for British people living in America, like me, to know the difference between the shoe brand and something else that Americans call a hush puppy before I put my foot in it, literally in the case of the shoe. Because in the US, and once again, particularly in the southern US, a hush puppy is, once again, another type of fried dough. Specifically, it's a ball about the size of a clementine of deep-fried cornmeal batter. And it sounds disgusting, but it's not. And if there was nobody around to keep an eye on me, I could happily eat 50 of them a day, but I'd no longer be alive. Put it this way, from experience, they do taste better than the shoe. And how do I know that? Because I was 11 years old once. That's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments
So
below.
they are shoes in the UK then. I've got to see what hush puppy shoes are. Have I seen these before? Oh. Oh, these ones. Just like the sort of school or work shoes then. Didn't know they're called hush puppies, what the fuck?
Other things that the other country doesn't have a word for. I'm Lawrence Brown. You can follow me on Twitter at Lost in the...
Shout out to Lost in the Pond again. Shout out to Lawrence again, man. Another banger of a video. And I mean, yeah, it's just interesting to see these differences. It's just weird small differences, but it's just funny to see like certain things that we don't have a word for here, I guess you could say. As a Brit, I knew about driving due to the closing credits of the Flintstones. A Carhop is not a car that hops. Obviously, Larry has never hung out with Vatos, East LA, and there's lowriders. Those cars are the coolest cars, are the ones that bounce, man. Only people past a certain age will get the Richard Dreyfuss mashed potato reference. To everyone saying they call elephant ears funnel cakes, they are actually two different, albeit similar desserts. Good hush puppies are beyond heavenly. Do you have them like with sweet sauce, or is it like sort of tomato, ketchup, barbecue sauce? Like what? How do they work? This is for my British viewers, i.e. my mum. Sorry, Uncle Toby, you don't warrant a mention now. You don't have schmores? You're kidding. But yeah, another banger of a video. Again, suggest some more videos you want to see from Lawrence or any other videos in general. Just suggest what you want to see. But yeah, until next time, like, subscribe. Peace.